Hey guys, this is your Friday Math Weekly Review. You guys had 16.5, 16.6, 16.7, and 16.8 this week for math, so I'm going to be reviewing just little bits of the math that you guys did, as well as going over some of your answers from your workbook pages. Um, Please remember, if there's something that you guys don't understand, please make sure that you are messaging me or having your parents. I have no problem setting up a meeting for us and going over what you guys need additional help with. Also, this is the last week where we're going to have a new lesson for 16. Next week on Monday, we're going to be reviewing, and then on Tuesday is the test, and then on Wednesday and Thursday, we're starting topic 4. So please keep in mind 2 things. If you didn't understand something, now's the time to ask, because you guys have a test next week. And then secondly, make sure that you guys are logging into Pearson and completing the videos and the quick checks, but also making sure that you're submitting it. There's a lot of you guys that are doing the work but are not submitting it, so it's not showing up on my end. So that's part of your responsibility, to go on and check to make sure that it is being turned in or submitted. I believe on the top right corner it'll say turn in. A lot of you guys, I had messaged your parents saying that it is missing, and it might just be a matter of you guys not submitting it. But you need to get on top of that, because progress report cards are coming out, and one of the questions that's being asked is if you're turning stuff in on time. If I'm not receiving your guys' stuff because you're not clicking submit, then it will be docked against you guys, and I would hate for that to happen, which is why I'm constantly reminding you, and I'm reminding your guys' parents. So please make sure that you guys are submitting it, okay? If you are not sure if it's being submitted, join one of my Zoom meetings. I'll walk you guys through it and to figure out how to check to see if you've submitted everything. All right, so I'm gonna get straight into it, so this video is not too long. I'm gonna start off with reviewing some of the vocabulary words that we entered in this week, and then going straight into your the answers. So here's what I need from you guys. Pull out your math workbook pages from this week, so 16, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and a red pen, and then I would like for you guys to correct it with me. Okay, I'm gonna start off by going over your vocabulary words for the week that connect to this math. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Hold on, sorry, that was not the right page. Okay, so let's do, okay. I'm gonna download this just so it's easier for me to access it. Okay, so we had your time that we referenced this week. Let me zoom out a little bit. Let's see, we did our calendars, equivalent time. Okay, so we're gonna start with data. Data is information you collect, and it's called data, and you can use data to solve problems. So if I was to be creating a graph to see how many kids prefer certain colors, I might collect data and say, okay, 5 kids really like the color green, and 3 kids really like the color blue. What I'm doing is, by getting their answers, I'm collecting data, and I can turn that data into a chart. And you guys have been working on that this week, and I'm going to talk about specific charts that you've been talking about. Another one of your words is symbol. A symbol is something that stands for or represents something else. So you guys know this, but remember when we were in class, and I would tell you guys to prove your answer by telling me the paragraph that you guys found your answer in. And what I did was, instead of having you guys write the word paragraph every time, we created a symbol. Hopefully you guys can see, that kind of looks like this. It looks like a P with 2 lines. That's a symbol. So it stands for the word paragraph, but I use that, it just kind of makes it so much easier for you to have to write the whole word. We do symbols all the time. You guys are going to see symbols in these graphs that you completed. A lot of them might be pictures. So we're going to get into that. The first graph that we talked about is a bar graph, and I always kind of think of it because these look like bars, and specifically like a candy bar, right? A bar goes this way. Bar graphs can go up and down as well, but this case they're just showing it to the side. But you can always remember this like a candy bar. It looks like the shape of a candy bar, like a Snickers, okay? So a bar graph uses bars to show data, and this data chart, this bar graph, is called favorite activities, and the activities are listed right here. So the activities would include music, dance, and art. And then this part right here represents the number of children that like those activities. So what you would do is you would go to art, and you would go to the line where it stops, and you could see that 1 child liked art. If we go to dance and we kind of go to where it stops and I put my mouse down, it shows that 4 kids, you know, enjoy the activity of dance. And then for music, I'm going to go to where that ends and I'm going to follow this line down and it shows that 3 children like it. So that's how you read a bar graph. It's super important that you know the name of this, especially you're going to need to know this for state testing for the next couple years. So just kind of remember that this is something that's important. So if you don't understand it, you need to talk to me about it. But remember, the best way to remember is it looks like a candy bar, so it's a bar graph. Pictograph, it has the word picto in it, which kind of represents the word picture. So a pictograph uses pictures to show data. This one's pretty simple to remember. So think of picto, right here, stands for picture. So it's a graph that has pictures, okay? So this graph is called rock collection, and it shows each child, and it shows a picture of a rock. But here's where it gets super important. You need to look at the key, because this key doesn't represent Kayla likes 2 rocks. The key right here shows you that each picture of a rock actually represents 2. So in this case, Kayla likes 2 and 4. So she has a rock collection of 4 because each of these rocks stand for 2. So kind of think of this one as 2, 4. Tyler has 4 pictures of rocks, but each picture represents 2 rocks. So we have 2, 4, 6, and 8. So Kayla has 4 in her collection and Tyler has 8. The next one is called a line plot. This one is where you typically are given information or data and you're plotting stuff. So if you guys have ever played the game Battleship, that's kind of how I remember it. You're using information and you're putting one of those little tabs down, or those little like sticks or whatever you want to call them, but you're plotting it, right? So as you know, you're collecting data or you're sending data, you're using those as plotting stuff. So I kind of think of this as that game. You could think of these X's as just like a plot of some type of information. So this line plot is a way to organize data on a line. So we've got a line right here and numbers of inches. So there are 2 that represent 1 inch. There's 1 that represents 3 inch, and then there's 3 that represents 4 inches. So this might be the number of days that it rained an inch. Sometimes we need a little bit more information, but this is how you would read in the line plot. And that's your vocabulary for the week. Okay, so right now, go ahead and pull out your math workbook. And we are going to review your answers for 16-5. And let's go ahead and start with, I believe, it's practice and then reteach. Oh, I can't remember. I think it's, well, let's just go here. Okay, so here's 16-5. This is the practice page. So if I'm on the wrong page, I'm sorry. I can't remember which one comes first. I actually kind of think it was the reteach first. Okay, I'm gonna do this one first. I'll do the reteach first next time, I'm sorry. Okay, so here's 16-5, reteach. Oh, I wonder if I can, sorry, I just learned something new. Let me see if I, no. Okay, sorry, I thought I learned something new, but I didn't. Okay, so here's 16-5, the practice page. It says use the table to make a bar graph, bars like candy bars, then use the bar graph to solve the problem. So the first thing that you needed to do is you needed to fill in this bar graph. Home activity, you're gonna use this key to fill in this data. 9 represents the reading books. So favorite home activity. So these are students that voted on their favorite home activity. So 9 students represented their favorite activity was reading books. 8 students said that coloring pictures was their favorite home activity. 10 students said that playing games was their favorite home activity. And then 4 said that playing with toys was their favorite. So then what you do is you notice each of these boxes represent 1, because if I look here, this says 1, 2, and so on. So reading books shows 9. So this is how I would do it. I would go to find reading books, and I would either count out 9 squares, or I would find the number 9, follow it up here, and then I would color here, and then color in everything to make a bar, okay? So your reading book should be at the 9. Coloring pictures would be at the 8, so see it right here. Playing games was at the 10, and playing with toys was at the 4. Now we're going to use this data to answer some questions. The first question reads, did more children choose reading books or coloring pictures? Well, reading books, you can either use the bar graph or you can use your data information here. 9 kids said reading books, while 8 said coloring pictures. So 9 is obviously a bigger number, so I would put reading books. Which activity is the favorite of the greatest number of children? So of these, which is the greatest number? The answer is 10, because you could even see this bar graph is the largest. And what does this represent? It represents playing games. So your answer for number 2 is playing games. Which activity is the favorite of the fewest number of children? So fewest is the smallest number. Well, this is the smallest bar, playing with toys, and this is the smallest number, so I know my answer's right, so the answer should be playing with toys. Number 4 says, about how many children were asked to vote for their favorite home activity? Well, here are all the votes. So what if I were you is I would probably add these all together. So you would add 9, 8, 10, and 4. And when you add those together, your answer is about 30, okay? That is it for your practice page. Let's go ahead and get to the reteach. I do think reteach should have came first, I'm sorry. Okay, so here's your reteach page for 16-5. It says use the data to make a bar graph. Children at the Grand School sold tickets to their school play. Color the boxes to show the number of tickets each grade sold. So grade 1 sold 8 tickets, grade 2 sold 15, and grade 3 sold 12 tickets. I'm gonna use that data to enter in my chart. So grade 1 represents going this way because it's a bar. I've got to make sure I show 8 tickets. So what they did was they went to the 8 and they colored that in. Grade 2 sold 15, so then I would go and I would find 15, and I would color this entire bar because it stops at 15. And then grade 3 sold 12, so I would find 12, put my little marker here, and then I would color that in. Okay, so this is what your bar graph should look like. If I am going a little too fast, remember you can always pause my video, okay? Use a bar graph to compare data. So compare is to like figure out how they're similar or how they're different. How many tickets did grade 3 sell? Well, I can use the data here or the bar graph. Grade 3 sold 12 tickets, so they put 12 here. Let's see. How many tickets did grade 1 sell? They sold 8. Which grade sold the fewest? Well, this one's the shortest line, so I know first grade or grade 1 sold the fewest. Which one sold the most? This is the largest line, so grade 2 sold the most tickets. How many more tickets did grade 3 sell than first grade? So this is where we're gonna compare them, okay? So look right here. This line ends right here for first grade, and then this one ends for third grade. Well, if I was to end right here, how many more did they sell? Well, they sold this 1, 2, 3, and 4. So my answer would be 4. Another way you could do it is you can subtract. Grade 3 sold 12 and grade 1 sold 8. 12 minus 8 is 4. So that's how you can also get that answer. Which grade sold more than 13? Well, 13 is right here, and only 1 grade sold over, which was second grade or grade 2. Okay? All right, there's your answers for 16-5. Remember, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Your test is next week. Let's get into 16-6, and I'm gonna start with the reteach this time. I hope I'm doing that in the right order. Okay, so 16-6. We talked about graphing lengths. So this is where you were using the line plots, right? Here's our table, and it shows the lengths of the objects. So our objects are a spoon, a knife, and a fork, and lengths in inches. So a spoon is about 5 inches, a knife is 8 inches, and a fork is 6 inches. Use the data from the table to plot a line plot, okay? So we have one item, which is 5 inches, so I put an X above 5. One item is 8 inches, so then I would put a line or plot a line above 8. And then one item is 6, so then that's why they have a number on a 5, a 6, and 8 to represent which items were which lengths, okay? Now we have to use this to answer questions. Question number 1 says, which object is the longest? Well, which of these is the biggest item? The answer is 8, so the answer is the knife. Is the fork longer than the knife or the spoon? So the fork is 6, so is 6 greater than 8 or is 6 greater than 5? The answer is 5, so the answer is that it's greater than the spoon. How can you tell? You can tell me that fork is 6 inches and the spoon is 5 and 6 is greater than 5. I would take that. What was their answer? The mark on the line plot for the fork is further right. So they're saying that you can tell me that this line is further down, so it represents that 6 is greater than 5, in other words, okay? How much longer is the fork than the spoon? So you can subtract. The fork is 6, the spoon is 5. What is 6 minus 5? The answer is 1, so about 1 what? 1 inch. So you need to tell me about 1 inch longer, okay? Let's go ahead and get into your practice page. Trying to make sure this is not a long video for you guys. Okay. Ooh, all right, so, oh, would you have had to measure this? Measure each shoe in inches. Okay, so hopefully you guys had your ruler still on hand. I gave you guys a lot to borrow. A lot of you guys borrowed a ruler, so hopefully that came in handy. So if you used your ruler, if you measured this shoe, which is considered the green shoe, it was about 3 inches long. If your number was off, we'll talk about it later. It shouldn't matter as long as you guys are plotting the information that you put in, but it should be 3 inches that you guys picked. This is called the purple shoe, and the purple shoe was about 5 inches long. Then they wanted you to use this information to plot it into the chart, okay? So they're telling us that the red shoe is 4. We already know that. Your green shoe, which is that first one, should be 3, and your purple one should be 5, okay? Now from here, you're going to plot your data into your line plots, okay? So you're gonna tell me that there's one that's 3 inches, there's one that's 4 inches, and there's one that's 5. So each of these X's represent a shoe, okay? So each of the X's represent a shoe and the numbers represent the inches on the bottom. Use a line plot to answer the questions. How many inches shorter is a red shoe than the purple shoe? So you could take the red shoe and the purple shoe and you could subtract. Well, 5 minus 4 is 1, so your answer is 1 inch. Make sure you're telling me 1 inch. Oh, in this case, they just had you bubble it in, but it should be inches. I don't know why they don't get you in the habit of that. Oh, that was a whole page. Not bad. All right, close that one out. I'm gonna move on to 16.7. Hopefully I am going fast enough to make this video short, but not too fast where you guys are confused, okay? So we're on 16.7. Let's start with the reteach page. Okay. So you are using, hopefully you guys know this is called a pictograph. Remember, picto is short for picture. So in this case, it's a graph with pictures. I'm not sure, I have to look at the test, but you might need to know the names of certain graphs, so make sure you guys are putting that in your head, okay? A pictograph uses pictures or symbols to show information. Write how many children choose each snack. Now, it's super important that you always look at the key for a pictograph. The reason why, sometimes the picture represents a different number. So in this case, each happy face equals 1 child. But there will be cases where you see a pictograph when they're trying to use like a larger number of like kids in this case, that this happy face might represent 5 students or 10 or so on. So make sure that you're always looking right here for what I call the key to give you the information that you need, okay? All right, so the happy face represents child, or it represents 1 child, and then we're gonna talk about the favorite snacks. So what you need to do is you needed to fill these in. Why is that there? So popcorn, I would count each of these as 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 children prefer popcorn. Fruit cups, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 children enjoy fruit cups. Yogurt would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 children liked the yogurt. And cheese and crackers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So your answers should be here, same thing. Remember, each of these happy faces represented one child. So 9 children liked the popcorn, 4 children liked the fruit cups, 7 children liked the yogurt, and then 10 kids preferred their favorite snack as cheese and crackers, okay? We're gonna use this information to answer questions. How many children like cheese and crackers the best? Well, you're gonna go find cheese and crackers and go all the way over and you're gonna see that the answer was 10, okay? How many children like yogurt the best? Well, you're gonna find yogurt. You're gonna follow it over and you're gonna see that the answer was 7, so 7 children. Which snack is the least favorite? So you're gonna look for the smallest number, the least number. Which of these is the smallest number? The lowest number is 4, so I'm gonna find 4 and I'm gonna go over and say that that's fruit cups, which is the answer right here. Which snack is the favorite? Well, the favorite is probably going to have the most number of students. So which of these is the greatest number? The answer is 10. So your answer should be cheese and crackers for number 4. Number 5 says, how many more children like yogurt than fruit cups? This is where you subtract, remember? So first we need to figure out how many like yogurt and how many like fruit cups, okay? So 4 kids like fruit cups, 7 kids like yogurt. Take 7, subtract 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and your answer is 3. So I know that 3 kids, here's another way you can do it. You can do, remember we talked about pairing up? So we have partner, 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 and then these 3 ones right here don't have a partner. So yogurt has 3 more students, okay? So 3. Number 6, how many more children like cheese and crackers than yogurt? So you find cheese and crackers and yogurt. You could do 2 things I've taught you. You can subtract the numbers, which is simple, or you can partner them up and see who's left. So we have partners, 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 and these 3 don't have it. So cheese and crackers has 3 more students than yogurt. And if I was to subtract 10 minus 7 is 3, so I know that my answer is correct. Okay. That was my reteach page. Let's go ahead and go to 16-7 practice page. At any point, remember you can always pause my video. Okay, practice page. Okay, pictographs again. Use the tally chart to complete the pictograph. Then use the pictograph to solve the problem. So right here, tally marks. Remember, a tally represents 1. If there's a slash, it's called a bundle. This is a bundle of 5. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Bundle is 5. Okay, so circle has 5, square has 4, and a triangle has 8. And I know it's 8 because here's 5 plus 3 more is 8. Now, you should have used a picto here, or a picture, to represent circles, squares, and triangles. Using the shapes would have been pretty easy, okay? So circle has 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pictures of a circle, so they did that correct. The square has 4. They should have 4 pictures right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If you didn't use a square, use something else, I'm okay with that, but you tend to want to use a picture that represents the word, okay? Triangle has 8, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then those are good. Everything checks out good. How many children chose squares? The answer is, let's find square right here. And I can either look at the tally mark chart, or I can look at the pictograph. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The answer is 4. Geometry, what shape is the least favorite? Well, which of these is the lowest number or least amount of it? The answer is square, so the answer would be C, square. Look at the tally chart. It shows favorite snacks. Which graph matches the tally mark? So right here, I need to make sure I find a graph that represents a banana has 1, crackers has 3, and yogurt has 2. Well, let's start with banana. Which of these shows 1 banana? This one would work, this one would work, this one would not work, B is not gonna work, and C and D will not work. So it looks like I can cross out B and I can cross out D, and I'm stuck between A and C, okay? Crackers needs to show 3. So crackers, 1, 2, 3, 4, too many. C shows 3. So it looks like C might be it, but I gotta check everything. 1 banana, 3 crackers, 3 crackers, and 2 yogurts, 2. So the answer should be C. All right, we are doing so good on time. Last but not least, 16-8. Let's go to the reteach. Okay, so problem solving, use a graph. You can use the data on the graph to solve the problems. How many more votes did the Tigers get than Lions? So when you're asking for how many more, you're going to be subtracting, okay? So first of all, this is a pictograph because there's pictures next to the graph. So wolves, it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wolves. Tigers is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And lions is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, remember when I'm asking you to tell me how many more, I showed you 2 different ways. You can subtract, or you can figure out which ones don't have pairs. They do want you to have a subtraction sentence, so you could probably use the pairs to check your work. So in this case, how many more tigers than lions? So I'm gonna take tigers, And because Tigers is the biggest number, I'm going to start with that one. So Tigers is 11, which is where they get the 11 from. And then Lions is 9. So they said 11 minus 9 equals 2. So there are 2 more votes for Tigers than Lions. How I'm going to check my work? These 2 right here don't have a partner, so my answer is 2. I checked my work. Use the graph to solve the problem. How many more children chose soccer than t-ball? Well, t-ball, let's go. Stop at the line. So 6 kids chose t-ball. Go to the soccer, stop at the end of the line. 9 children chose soccer. And then tag, 4 of them chose tag, okay? How many children chose soccer? The answer was 9. How many children chose t-ball? Go to this bar graph, stop here. So the answer is 6 for number 2. And then subtract. I'm going to take 9 minus 6, and then my answer is 3. So in this case, I know that 3 more children chose soccer than t-ball. Okay? Let's go ahead and go to, which one was this? Reteach. So I need to go to the practice page. Where's practice? Right here. Practice. Last page, guys. Oh, okay. Problem solving, use a graph. What kind of graph is this? It looks like candy bars, so it is a bar graph. And now what is this graph's title? The title is favorite ice cream. The kinds of ice cream I'm working with is vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. And then these numbers at the bottom represent the number of children, okay? So how many children like vanilla? I'm gonna go all the way to the end of the bar, scroll down and show that 6 kids like vanilla. Same thing with chocolate. Go all the way to the end of the bar, find that line, go down, and 9 kids like chocolate, find strawberry, stop at the line and follow it down, and 8 kids like strawberry, okay? Which ice cream got the most votes? Well, this one's the largest bar graph, so chocolate got the most votes. Which ice cream got the least? So which of these is the shortest line? The answer is vanilla. You can also tell me because 6 is smaller than 8 and it's smaller than 9. How many children voted in all? Well, you needed to add them up. So you need to take 6 plus 9 plus 8. So 6 plus 9 is 15, plus 8 more is 23. So my answer is 23 for number 3. We are now going to be, oh, it looks like pictures. So this is called a pictograph. This pictograph, sorry, represents favorite colors, and we're working with red, blue, and green. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell me a key for what these faces represent, so I'm just going to assume that each of these faces represent one child. So 1, 2, 3, 4 kids like red, 5 kids like blue, and 2 like green. How many children like blue the best? You find blue and you count them up. The answer was 5 children. Okay. What does the pictograph show? Well, here's a pictograph, and it shows how many kids, it shows the number of kids and their favorite color. So you can tell me that. You can also tell me that it shows how many children chose red, blue, and green as their favorite color. As long as you have something along that talking about the favorite color and kids, you are good to go. All right, babes, that looks like it's it. We got through math under 30 minutes. That's great. Yeah, so Friday, all you guys had to do was correct your math. Remember, I do have my Zoom meeting today from 1 to 2. So at any point, if you guys have any questions, please ask me. Remember, next week we have our review and our test. The review is going to be in your Tuesday folder, and it's going to be labeled topic 16 test. Remember, we're going to write practice on top of it, and you'll see that on my Sunday video. But that's going to be the review, the practice test that we're going to take, and I'm going to give you guys answers for that. Once again, we're going to take our test online, so if you guys do have any questions, please let me know before the test, because after that, it is what it is. Also, use today, right now, to go onto Pearson and check to see if you've submitted all your videos and all your quick checks. Once again, progress report cards are coming out. Everybody's gonna get one. And one of the questions is, are you guys turning stuff in online? If I'm not receiving that stuff from math and even science too, science is another one, you guys are getting lower grades. Another thing I am also checking for progress reports are to see if you guys are participating in Dojo points. So whether you're going on to Google Classroom like I asked you guys to and telling me what you did for the day, that's part of participation in what I'm asking for online. So make sure that you guys are doing that. If you haven't done it, start now, because I want to make sure to give you guys the grades that you want and deserve. And then also make sure that you're doing your letters. All right, babes, you guys have a great Friday and study hard for math. Bye.